One of the first questions I ask students is, like, why are you even pursuing physical therapy? And there's a very clear difference between someone that's like, I just kind of stumbled upon it, just kind of seeing how it's going to be. That's an okay dream. But someone that's like, hey, I've actually had physical therapy myself. I have a family member that's had it, or I want to serve people in this way, or, like just the stronger the dream, the more you're willing to fight for it, right?
It's one shot, now the future is yours. I'm turning dreams into reality. In the lab with the
Hey, what is up? How you doing? My name is Joseph Ngugi. I'm a physical therapist. I'm a PT school acceptance coach, and I am here to help you make your physical therapy dream come true. So if you are interested in physical therapy, this is the right platform to be on. This is the right platform to, binge on. So please absorb as much content as you can on here. We try our best to just provide you with as much value as possible, because the journey of getting into physical therapy school is tough, and we understand the ups, the downs that come with it. We understand the low points of having low grades, or getting a rejection letter, or struggling with standardized exams, or comparing yourself to other students and not feeling like you're good enough. So that's why we provide tons and tons of value. And so in each of these trainings, we like to focus on one specific aspect that we have seen work for a ton of the students that we work with privately, and hopefully it can help you as well, because we want to make sure that you don't have to quit on your career. And one thing that we say a lot is the only way you don't make your dream come true, your career dream come true, which in this case is physical therapy, is if you pull the plug. So every single time we do one of these, it's to help you not pull the plug. And if you find value in it, please be sure to subscribe and just keep listening to all the content that we will throw your way. And if you want to, learn more, just check out our social media accounts. They all have the same name, or go to our website, which is preptgrind.com/home. So that is it. So in this training, I want to talk about the number one reason why some students still get into their dream physical therapy program, even if things go initially wrong. So there are two key characteristics that we have just seen over the years that allow certain students to get in and other students to basically quit, right? And they both have the same issues. They both have the same obstacles. Let's take two individuals, for example, in this case, and one student is, has a low GPA. So low GPA is anything below a 3.0, right? They also have been rejected before. They also have low GRE scores. And we have a second student that basically has a very similar academic standing, right? So similar things, right? Low GPA, GRE struggles, all the like, right? So you have two individuals that have in the eyes of, maybe professors, maybe have a lower chance of getting into school, which you'll quickly find out is actually not the case because of what we teach you. But nonetheless, there's a reason why one of them will get into school and one of them will decide to quit. And so if you can take what I'm about to share with you in the next few moments and apply it to your journey as a student, then you will increase your likelihood of staying on the path and, of course, getting into one of your dream schools, because that's a key step, right? Like if you want to become a physical therapist, the key step is, number one, get into school, right? Finish physical therapy school, get a license, all that stuff, and then of course practice as a PT. So here's the key overarching reason, and then I'm going to break it down into two different sections. So the primary reason is perspective. Their perspective is just different. The student that gets in just simply has a different perspective than the student that doesn't get in. And let me clarify, the only reason why the other student doesn't get in is primarily because they end up quitting, but they also do things that essentially set them up so that the things that they're scared of, aka I'm scared of getting rejected again, aka I'm scared of still getting low grades even if I retake classes, those things just happen because of what their perspective is. And you'll understand that here in just a second. And of course, I'll give you a way to, reach out to us if you have any questions. But yeah, they have the same situation, but their perspective is just different from most other students. So here's the first perspective that is different. So the first perspective that is different is their dream is just very, very strong, right? So for example, we do strategy calls with students who want to work with us, right? Like we actually have a coaching program where we like literally like work with students up until they get into school, right? And so one of the first questions I ask students is, like why are you even pursuing physical therapy? And there's a very clear difference between someone that's like, I just kind of stumbled upon it, just kind of seeing how it's going to be. That's an okay dream. But someone that's like, hey, I've actually had physical therapy myself. I have a family member that's had it, or I want to serve people in this way, or, like just the stronger the dream, the more you're willing to fight for it, right? And so the difference, the first difference perspective wise between these two students is that the one that succeeds just leans into their big dream harder, right? Leans into their strong dream harder, right? Which is so critical, because if your dream is not strong enough to pull you through those moments, then it's going to be so much easier, not just to quit as a pre-PT, but more importantly, to quit when you're in physical therapy school. Like I had classmates that, in fact, there was one student that I remember who got into PT school and basically transitioned out of physical therapy school within the first semester because they were like, I don't know if I can do this. And they basically psyched themselves out, and lo and behold, their grades also followed suit shortly afterwards. So ask yourself, wherever you're at, let's say you are one of those students that is currently struggling, whether your struggles are academic, whether they are, comparison with other students, maybe it's not feeling good enough. Ask yourself, why are you doing this in the first place? Like, is your dream, is your desire to become a physical therapist stronger than your fear of not getting into physical therapy school? Because if your desire or your dream is greater, you just have a much higher chance of figuring this thing out. And the things that you're willing to do are just a lot greater than someone that just doesn't desire nearly as much. Now, if I really, really want it, naturally I'm gonna say, okay, like what are other people doing? Like, can I put myself around other students that are figuring this out? Can I put myself around, mentors or other physical therapists or other individuals that can help me figure out the stuff that is holding me back? Because I'll tell you this right now, and then I'll go to point number 2 is, regardless of where you're at in your journey, and I can say this with certainty after what we have seen over the past 8 years, despite where you're at, whether you feel like it's your GPA that's too low or any of the other things that I mentioned before, like you still have an ability to get into physical therapy school. I need you to hear that, right? Now, does that mean that's going to be easy? Absolutely not, right? But you still have the ability to get into physical therapy school. So what that means is, okay, if part of the reason why I'm stuck is just because, well, first, if my dream or my desire is strong, then I'm willing to find solutions. And if I can accept the fact that there is a solution to every problem that I currently have, whether it's my GPA, whether it's the schools I'm selecting, whether it's my standardized exams, if I can accept that there is a solution for that there's someone that's figured it out there, then it's on you to start saying, okay, can I start looking for those people, right? And so that's the first part. The second part is they have more urgency than the student that ends up deciding to quit. Notice how I'm saying they decided to quit, because the only reason why you don't get in is if you quit, right? So they just have a higher sense of urgency. Now, urgency comes from a few different things. Urgency comes from how badly you want it, right? So this is someone that's like, man, I want to get into PT school as soon as possible. I want to figure this out. I don't want to waste time. So that can create urgency. The more urgency you have, the more you're willing to do. Remember, your actions are what determine what ends up happening. Like your actions determine the outcomes. Your actions are like seeds. If you are planting no actions, you're going to have no fruit or no harvest on the other side. If you're planting seeds of action, if you're intentional, if you're around the right people, if you're doing the right things to improve your grades, if you're doing the right things to, build relationships with the right schools, then you're like the fruit on the other side of that seed is insanely amazing, right? And so that comes from urgency. So ask yourself, am I spending a week at a time, 2 weeks at a time, 3 weeks at a time, 4 weeks at a time, several days at a time, several months at a time, several years at a time, wasting time because I'm so overwhelmed, I'm so anxious about everything falling apart? My focus is on the worst case scenario as an applicant. And because my focus is on the worst case scenario as an applicant, naturally I do nothing, right? And so what that does is it actually leads me to feel like I'm powerless as a student, which wastes time. And obviously that leads to a self-fulfilling prophecy of you not getting into school or you not accomplishing the things that you need in order to become a strong physical therapy school applicant. I hope this is making sense, right? And so urgency is huge. Another thing that causes urgency is a painful past. So this is someone that has, maybe been rejected before. And they're like, yo, I do not want to go through that again. So I'm actually willing to do everything in my power to make sure that I do not have to experience that again. So they're like, I'm willing to do anything, absolutely anything to make it work. And they're the ones that start talking to anybody and everybody they can find that can give them tools, guidance, resources, direction to make it work. But urgency is huge. Someone that does not have urgency is not going to do the things they have to do to basically turn themselves into the type of applicant that schools are looking for. And that's the difference. Perspective is everything, and perspective in terms of the dream. So ask yourself, am I clear on why I am doing this? And is that big enough or strong enough to pull me along so that I can do the things that I need to do when I'm at my lowest? And then number two, do I have urgency? Because at the end of the day, here's what it comes down to. It comes down to this. Despite what your frustrations are, despite what your pain is, despite what your fears are as a student, despite what your anxieties are as a student, despite how busy you are, maybe you got a super busy life, or you have kids, or you're trying to manage school and work, regardless of all the things that you feel might be working against you, understand this: there is somebody out there that has an equal amount, if not more so, of the same amount of things that you think are stressors, and they were able to figure it out. So your question needs to be, how did they do it? Your question needs to be, what was their perspective? Remember, I said perspective is huge, because at the end of the day, one student's excuse is another student's reason to keep going at it. So one student might say, you know what, my excuse is the fact that I have a family and, oh man, it's hard to manage. And another student's reason might be, I need to make this happen because of my family. One student might be like, well, because of money. Well, I need to make this happen so I don't keep wasting money on applying over and over, on retaking classes over and over. I need to figure out how to make this work. And so ask yourself, which student are you going to be? Because at the end of the day, your obstacles are not the thing that's going to stop you from getting into physical therapy school. It's your perspective. Does that make sense, y'all? Does that make sense? And so hopefully that was valuable. That is exactly what I wanted to cover for you on this training. And then from there, man, just keep going at it. Let us know if you need help. Of course, a great place to start is the link I'm about to send you. The link is www.rejectionproofprept.com. If you go there, it'll take you to a page. You'll actually see, a spot where you can, enter your name and email, just so that we can send you a super amazing training that we did that's just under 10 minutes long. And what we did is, in that 10 minutes, we basically broke down the blueprint that many of the students that we have coached over the years have used to get into school after having super low GPAs as low as a 2.4, 1.7, crazy stuff, like as many as 15 plus rejections, just the craziest scenarios, like being more than 10 years out of school and having to go back. I'm telling you, all the things that you think are holding you back, this is what those students did, and we lay it out super straightforward. And so if you want access to that, go to rejectionproofprept.com and we will send that to you instantly. So that is it. If you enjoyed this, please be sure to subscribe, send this out to all your other friends who are interested in becoming physical therapists, so that y'all can level up together. Y'all have a good one. We'll see you on the next training. Bye.